Yo, it's boy Marcus and Weston back on the video. Today we are buying the new Mythic Dark Shepherd and maxing it out, right? So we're spending a ton of money in this video because it's insanely expensive. Now, I want to go ahead and put this out there. If you only watch a minute of this video, watch tomorrow's video if you're thinking about buying it. I'm going to do like a full financial breakdown because this is actually, they hiked up the pricing of the CP and it's insane. It's not as much as like if you bought the XM4, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be probably, I think, another 4,000 or 5,000 CP more. I think probably another $50 American. Why they're doing this? Maybe because they thought, because they put the 2x CP out there, they're going to coax some people in to spending money on it, and that's their idea of, like, you know, getting more money out of their player base, right? So I am sacrificing so you don't have to. You're welcome. I bought all of the 2x CP, which gave me plenty of CP for how much I spent on the XM4 draw, only to find out that I was going to have to spend an extra $100. I'll be breaking the rest of this stuff down tomorrow in tomorrow's video because I didn't know that going into this. But you'll know that way you don't make the same mistake that I did, in case that's a little bit out of your price range. And you know, you were thinking like 125 I can afford it, 250 I can afford it. Maybe not in this scenario. It's going to be pretty pricey. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in, man, because it does look cool. Is it worth the money? No, but it does look cool. We're going to ignore the money. We're just going to talk about how cool it is. Right here, we're at the Dark Shepherd. It's kind of hard. Anyway, we're going to talk about this draw. We got a lot of cool stuff in this draw. The CP, right? 50 on the first one, 130 on the next one. We got a nice little charm right there. I mean, charms or whatever. It's the only one I'm going to use right now, so get used to it in my videos. We got a Scout camo for like the Scout class in BR. That's cool. I don't use Scout too much anymore. That was like so 2019, so I haven't used it in a while, but it is pretty good for like shooting it into the middle of any like bus station or launch base. You'll be able to find out where anybody is in that area, so it is viable. New Fennec doesn't have custom iron sights, so that's unfortunate. Had it had that, it would be cool. Since it doesn't, it's just kind of like whatever. I'm going to slap a diamond camo over it, and that's going to be the end of it. New helicopter. Helicopter would be cool. It's reactive, but it's covered up by all the black, so it kind of looks like a normal helicopter, if I'm being honest with you. So it could look better. I wish like they just took off the black and just kept that reactive all over it, and that would be way better. Like, I have a much better helicopter than that one, so that's what I'm kind of implying. New emote. It's basically like the execution, which you may have seen. It's been leaked out, but it's this slashing axe. I don't know what this blade is, but we'll call it an axe just for whatever. That's pretty cool. Now we're up to 1100 CP already. We get a parachute. Hell yeah. Next up, for 1700 CP, we are going to spin the actual axe. So that's pretty cool. I do think the axe is pretty dope. It's huge, it's massive, it really goes with the character skin. So I think it's pretty nice. That being said, like, if you got the character spin like on your first 3 draws, don't go getting the axe. It's not worth it. That could go for everything else in here. So however much CP that was for a calling card. Calling cards, obviously, pretty awesome. So yeah, cool. 4200 CP. That's going to give us the Asval. The Asval does look good. I will not lie. I do like the Asval a lot. I don't like the gun at all, but I've seen this actual, like, the iron sights feel better, like way better, and the actual gun looks cool. So that's pretty nice. I hate that all like the effects of the gun, like the big blade that goes around to the back of it, is not necessarily seeable in first person. So like, I wish they did that more often. Like, I wish that went to the front towards the barrel, and then you could actually see it when you're using the gun. That would be a lot cooler, in my opinion, because it's a first-person game. I want to actually see my skin, not really see my skin. You know what I mean? Anyway, basically all I'm saying is you don't really see the barrel in the magazine. You don't even see the stock when you're playing the game a lot of the time. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we got 6,700 CP, and we're guaranteed to get the Mythic. 6,700 CP, for anybody wondering, is an extra 1,300 CP than the XM4. Like I said, for the last draw of the XM4, like I said, I'll cover that in tomorrow's video for people who are interested in buying this, thinking that they got the 2x CP. I'll just kind of, give you the lowdown on it. If you're in America, if you're in like India, I think you could buy whatever you want. Honestly, I think it's like the draw is like worth like a third of the money. Like it's actually super cheap there. I wish I had like the India discount or whatever. But with that being said, now that we've got the Mythic, we've got to buy the stuff for it. Because if you're going to buy a Mythic character, I'm going to keep it real with you. Just buying the base version, like the Mythic of it, doesn't really look good. You're going to want to at least buy the 7 tiers, right? You don't have to buy the last 2. Me personally, I wouldn't suggest buying the BR tiers. But for this one, you might want to buy it because there's actually something sneaky, crazy that is apparently going on with this. And I'll cover it when we get there. What we'll see right here is the biggest scam in all of this, honestly. I think it's the CP Mythic coin upgrade system. So this is where you get to watch yourself spend however much money to get as many 10s as humanly possible, because that's how this works. Yeah, so 1440, again, we just got to keep spending it because, we're not even close to actually getting it. The other thing that's kind of funny is they give you like up top, when you spend enough to get it, like when you spend enough Mythic coins, they put up top 10, 40, 80, and 110. And then I think there's also a 140 at the end for like how much they'll give you. So that's cool. It's not helping my thing right here, but you get the point. It's kind of whatever. With that being said, we're kind of looking at some of this stuff. The hollow is what goes on your arm. It's essentially the kill counter. So that's pretty cool. It's one of the big things about having a Mythic is you can actually see your kills while you play. I like that. That's nice to have. That was one of the things about the Siren. It's like, how many kills do I have right now? Oh, wait, it's right there. I don't have to check the scoreboard. So that's kind of fine. Other than that, it doesn't really do much for you. But, it's cool. It's cool to have. It's a nice little feature. And it's part of the whole Mythic thing that they do. Now, they do also have like a batch upgrade to make it easier to calculate how much you're going to be spending in terms of coins. That's nice of them because they know how to, get as much money as they can. That's their goal. That's what they do. They try to, they spend time on that instead of nerfing the USS-9. That's the more important stuff. The USS-9 can wait. Anyway, we buy all the tiers. With this, we get a pretty dope gesture and watch face. It's kind of the same thing. It's just like an upgraded, like, inspect. I don't know. It does look cool. I'm not going to say it doesn't look cool because it looks cool. It does. But like, it's kind of really like something you use a lot. You know what I mean? Like half the time I try to do any of the, like, what do you call that? Where your character does emotes. Anytime I try to do the emotes, the game usually blocks it. That's really annoying. So, I don't know. Like when I finish a S&D round and I want to emote on the other team because I clutched a 1v4, it doesn't show that. You know what I mean? Like I can't hit the emote button because the game blocks it. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but they just don't want me showboating. So instead, I'll teabag their bodies. That's fine. The reactive arm, just like the Siren, is the tier 3 there. That's pretty cool. I do really like the reactive arm. I think if they did that for the whole body, that would be cool. But they kind of save that for like the overall middle path right there where you see how the whole body's reactive. So like now it's not just the arm. It's kind of like the entire body's got a little reactivity to it. But I feel like with the arm, they just put a little more effort into that specific thing. It'd be interesting to see if they do it for like the leg next time. Because like they already did the arm once. Kind of copy and pasting here. You know what I mean? So maybe, I don't know, if you're going to put this much time into this, maybe make it a little more creative. You know what I mean? Maybe he has a glowing Johnson. Sorry. But the color palettes are pretty cool, man. I do think the color palettes definitely make it a lot more intriguing. If you're gonna spend all this money, man, yeah, they definitely need the color palettes. I think that's the must-have thing here. is the color palettes and the main effect, the actual middle pathing, which is going to require you to buy the 7 pieces to it. Now, as you can tell, I had to go buy more CP because I wanted to go ahead and max the whole thing out because of one thing and one thing only. Apparently, the Annihilator, which is already inherently like broken, right? All specialists are broken. That's what they are. They're just broken already. But apparently, it lights up enemies with like the Oracle from Call of Duty Ghosts, or to put it in COD Mobile terms, if you guys didn't get that reference, which very few of you will. If you play BR, you know, Smoke Bomber, when you throw down the smoke and people appear red, apparently now the Annihilator does that. So if you have this specific Annihilator skin, it will light people up in a red outline. So if you had a smoke thrown down in front of you, like you threw it down in front of you, pull out your Annihilator and aimed, and instead of just hearing the beeping sound and not getting an outline because of the smoke, now you will hear the beeping sound and have a red outline. And then with the power of the Annihilator and your ability to pretty much wallbang anything, you can then kill them without them even knowing you're shooting at them, essentially, because you've got this red outline hack, essentially. Now, I haven't actually tested this. This will probably be something I show in like a short. But I will test this because if that's actually true, that's kind of cool. It's very niche, so I don't really see that as a big deal. It is technically pay to win, but like it's very niche in the fact that like most people use trophy systems or stems or they're pay to win flashbang. You know what I mean? So now you have to throw on your smoke grenade or your pay to win smoke grenade. I guess you could say the orange one really isn't pay to win, but you get my point. And then just aim down sight through the Annihilator and shoot people through smoke. I guess that's not really, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily pay to win. It's just like, oh, hey, this actually is kind of pay to win in a way, but not like a big deal. I just saw from Bobby Plays' video, because he gets shit for free, and he already made a video on it, that he kind of talked about that. So it's worth testing, worth knowing. Here, though, with the final upgrade, we have a pretty dope guy, I would say. I definitely think it's way better than Siren. Is it the best Mythic character in the game? That's up to you guys. You're the people. Share your thoughts down below. I'm going to say yes. I think the actual color palettes allow it to be not only like dark, but also have bright aspects to it. And that's kind of the thing, right? Like with the Black Prophet guy or whatever his name is, Templar, like he's just kind of dark and that's it. I don't feel like he really gets brighter. This one I feel like does get brighter. A. B, what's the other one that people love? The Spectre. He's always bright, right? So that's kind of like now you just always glow. But here you don't have to be that way. You can just run it all black, which is kind of cool because now you kind of blend in more like a rose skin. You know what I mean? There is the cape with stuff hanging off the back, I guess. That's kind of whatever. We're going to talk about that in a second because it's pretty fucking funny. With the palettes, I definitely like the orange one here. I think the purple one is the one this is kind of made for, though, low-key, because they have purple in all 3 aspects. So it goes the best, right? There's a purple river right here, and that goes with the purple in the 2nd category, and then that goes with the purple in the 3rd category. So then your guys like all purpled out. So if you like purple, pretty dope. You know what I mean? I'm kind of cool with purple. Purple's a cool color. You know what I mean? I can get down with a little purple in my life. So with that being said, we're going to slap on a book bag, obviously, because we're going to school. We're taking kids to school because it's COD Mobile and that's what I do. Here with the book bag, yeah, we're going to a rave. Anyway, that's the book bag. I don't think that really goes with that. I was just messing around when I was recording this. So here, it actually kind of already equips everything you need to see here. I didn't know that at the time. But it also gives you a little bar right next to what you're equipping. I didn't see that until last second. So actually, when you put on your arm modifier, you can put on, like you can actually zoom in to what your character looks like. And when you do that, you can actually see that on the character, not only are there bats flying off of your guy, which is kind of cool. Bats are kind of cool. There's actually math equations falling off your guy. So math equations like y equals mx plus b, or sloped intercept, or like geometry proofs, like that's on your character right now. In my video game, there's math concepts, which is actually so cool. I wanted that. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted math concepts in my video game. As you see, as I zoom in here, I'm over here looking at square root of 64 times 8, y equals mx plus b, over square root of 72, whatever the fuck it says. You get my point. You can tell this was made by Asians because there's math in here. We're getting a little bit too far. You get my point. I say that a lot, don't I? I do say that a lot. We're getting a little out of hand, but here with the rest of the colors, we have just a bunch of stuff, really. I think the Annihilator is probably the most worth it thing on that pathing. The Rewind is kind of whatever. Kind of looks like a rave is being thrown on my little specialist class, like with these lights and stuff. It's kind of cool, though. I like it. Gives me a reason. That was part of the reason I bought it, because I use the Annihilator the most. My most used BR class is Rewind. One of my most used BR classes, like of all time, is probably Scout. So I got some use there. The actual male side of it, because I don't have a male mythic character and I'm a dude, so like I just was like, you know what, screw it, I'll buy one. And this was the most, the next release was this one, so I was like, you know what, I'll just go for it. And it kind of already has a lot of things I like to use, so that makes it kind of more reasonable for me to spend the money on it. That being said, I've pretty much covered everything on here from the reactivity. There's a lot of BR stuff, like the way he flies out of the air. He goes into a teleport, and then he spins around and bats are everywhere, and then he teleports back out while he's in the air, flying down into the BR map. Pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of time put into this. Really wish they would put that time into nerfing the USS 9 and the Odin, but whatever. Can't get what you want in life, I guess, whatever. You get my point. I said it again. It's weird. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. Yeah, my most expensive YouTube video. Maybe I'll title it that. The overarching thing will be covered tomorrow from a financial perspective for anybody actually looking into buying this. I will tell you how much I spent on it from a CP to dollars ratio, and you can make up your mind that way. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.